Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into a discovery that has just completely upended what we thought we knew about the history of cyber warfare. It's an incredible story about a digital ghost that's been hiding out in the open for almost 20 years.
You know, for years, the story of big-time digital sabotage has been all about Stuxnet. It was loud, it was destructive, it physically broke things. But what if its real ancestor wasn't designed to make a sound at all? What if it was built to be totally invisible, just working its magic in the background for years on end?
So this story doesn't start with some big explosion. It starts with a single, pretty unassuming file that researchers at Sentinel-1 stumbled upon. A file called svcmgmt.exe, which was uploaded to a public database way back in 2016, but it was actually created all the way back in 2005. It's literally been hiding in plain sight for nearly 2 decades.
And this timeline, well, it really puts the scale of this discovery into perspective. This malware, which they've codenamed Fast16, was built in 2005. That predates Stuxnet, you know, the infamous weapon that went after Iran's nuclear program, by at least 5 years. This wasn't some opening act. This might have been the real beginning.
So, what exactly is this digital ghost? Well, let's get into the autopsy and see how this thing was built, because its design, honestly, it's a masterclass in covert operations.
At its core, that svmgmt.exe file is this super adaptable carrier. Think of it like a briefcase that can hold different tools for different jobs. Inside, it had 3 main payloads: the core logic, a networking module, and the real star of the show, a kernel driver named Fast16.sys. And that's a piece of code that runs at the very heart of the operating system, with the highest level of privilege you can get.
Now here's where it gets really wild. The use of a Lua engine. Finding this lightweight, super flexible scripting language inside malware from 2005, it's a landmark discovery. It shows a level of sophistication and like a modular design that cybersecurity experts just didn't think existed back then. No way! And the sophistication, it just kept going. This thing was incredibly smart for its time. It could install itself as a core Windows service, it could spread to other machines, and it would actively scan for at least 8 different antivirus programs just to stay hidden. But here's the really clever part, the little detail that cracks the whole thing open. We know exactly how old it is, because of a reference to a company called Cygate. That company was bought out and disappeared in August 2005, which gives us a perfect little timestamp for when this weapon was out in the wild.
But here's the twist. This weapon's real purpose wasn't what you think. It wasn't built to steal your credit card numbers or shut down a power grid. Its mission was way more subtle and, frankly, a lot more sinister.
So instead of, blowing up the building, this thing was like a spy who secretly changes just a few numbers in an engineer's blueprints, year after year. It was designed to corrupt data at the most basic level, making these super complex calculations just a tiny bit wrong systematically over a very long period of time. The crucial point here is just how different its mission was from Stuxnet's, right? Stuxnet was a hammer. It physically spun centrifuges until they broke. Fast16 was a whisper. It was playing the long game, designed for sabotage so subtle you might never even find it. You just see systems degrade or fail over time and have no idea why.
And what was it targeting? Well, researchers think it was aimed at these incredibly high-precision engineering and simulation tools. We're talking software used to design and test critical infrastructure, simulating car crashes, modeling buildings, calculating water flow. The kind of stuff where even a tiny, tiny error can have catastrophic consequences years down the line.
Okay, so a weapon this sophisticated with this kind of target, it just screams state-level actor. But how can anyone know for sure? Well, the researchers followed a single critical digital clue. The key was a little string of text buried deep in the code, a kind of digital breadcrumb left behind by the programmers. This breadcrumb contained the name of that driver, Fast16.sys. And that simple name, it turned out to be the Rosetta Stone, connecting this old piece of malware to one of the biggest intelligence leaks in modern history. And here's how all the pieces just click together. Follow the chain, right? The name Fast16.sys from the malware, it connects to a text file that was leaked in 2017. That leak came from a group calling themselves the Shadow Brokers. And those stolen files are widely believed to have come from the Equation Group, an elite hacking unit with very strong suspected ties to the US National Security Agency. It's a direct line from a piece of code written in 2005 all the way to a major intelligence leak over a decade later.
So let's zoom out for a second and really understand why this matters so much.
This isn't just a cool story about some clever old malware. This discovery fundamentally rewrites the history books on digital conflict. This is proof that sophisticated cyber sabotage tools, ones that target physical systems by messing with data, were fully developed and out in the world by the mid-2000s. That is a full half-decade earlier than we previously thought the starting line was. The age of digital weapons began much, much earlier than we knew.
And the connection, it gets even deeper. One of Fast16's potential targets, that simulation software LS-DYNA, has been publicly linked to the exact same Iranian nuclear program that Stuxnet attacked years later. This suggests the era of digital statecraft didn't just begin earlier, it also began much more quietly than anyone ever realized. The main thing to take away from all this is that Fast16 wasn't some kind of test run or prototype. No, it was a fully realized weapon, a silent ancestor that has completely reshaped how we understand cyber conflict. And it succeeded in its mission of staying hidden for almost 20 years.
And that leaves us with a final, pretty unsettling question. This ghost was found by chance. So, if a weapon this sophisticated could operate in total secrecy for 2 decades, what else don't we know? How many other silent ancestors are still out there quietly shaping our world from the shadows?